What's going on in America? This is something that hit me this morning. Is that America doesn't understand what's going on right now, and there's a divide going on twofold. You have Russia, Iran, China, Japan, because Japan, if they're getting gas from Russia, that means that they're probably going to join with them when things hit the fan. Then you got all these other nations joining BRICS. You have Mexico that applied, but believe me, just like Russia is feeling how they are in Ukraine in the back door, and how China feels how they are in Taiwan. Do you not think they would love to be right there in Mexico? So we're being surrounded on all sides. Yet the 1% that runs the world, the ones that people are blind because they don't realize they're being programmed. And when they hear things, they don't realize it's being given to them directly for a reason, so that they can be divided. Republican, Democrats, they're together, one people. Americans don't understand that the battle is not, it's against Jacob's children. It's always been against us because they know we're the ones in the latter end to do damage to the so-called 1%, because he's going to make our feet like hinds and he's going to turn us into a battle axe. This is the scriptures. It's also known now that we're the so-called mound builders, indigenous people, Indians, and that America really is the old land. All of this is coming out now. But what people don't understand is this so-called 1%, because they want to do a racial divide. The Albert Pike letter said it was going to get rid of communism in Russia. After they did that, they was going to go through, and then the next thing they were going to do is they was going to release the atheists, the homosexuals, and then they was going to try to create a race war. America, don't fall into the pit hole. Don't fall into the pitfall. I seen 2 congressmen or these young men expelled because of their color. Even though another congressman did the same exact thing and he nothing happened. I saw a young lady in basketball, and this young lady in basketball, she put her hands up like this, some gesture they're doing, but another young lady who was white did the same thing. Now, the one young lady who was black was ostracized, but the other young lady said nothing. When you're dealing with the so-called Negroes, indigenous people, blacks, you got to understand that we're a type of people, when you come to our communities, we don't just hate you and be angry with you for no reason. I mean, as a matter of fact, I live in Atlanta, and down in Decatur, most of the people who are non-black are moving into that area, and they don't have fear. The fear comes from the television. The fear comes from the news. The fear comes from the programming. I want you to think about this for one moment. I want you to be honest with yourself. I mean, real honest with yourself. This is for white America. And this is also for black America. And this is also for the foreigners who are here. This is for everybody to just be honest. When you see the mass murders, 95% are done by whom? Is it the so-called black man? Is it the Chinese, the Asian, or the Indian? So there's a problem where one people are being blamed for things. And then when you look at the media, even in the 1930s, how they would have a woman in the cartoons with a pot. And in the pot, she would be cooking someone. And then they would say that this is the African lady doing it. Well, wait a minute. Africa has more food, more fruits, more animals than they don't need to be cannibals. There's no history of that. And then you want to say we were first, then get this. This is the thing. The real reason all of this is going on because the 1% wants to create a divide. And what they're doing is programming those who don't know any better to start hating one group of people against another. When the real enemy and the real foe that's coming is the ones who control the economy, the ones who's going to control whether you have good health with your food, with your medicine, because a lot of things that you think that are good for you are not. And so what they do is they try to pit one side against the other. Read the Albert Pike letters. Just read them, please. We're not supposed to be hating each other. We're not supposed to be fighting each other, but it's prophesied that it would happen. But these things could be broken if you understand who the puppeteers are and you don't become the puppet. When you see the mass shootings, when you see the methamphetamine, and when you see all these other things going on, but yet in television they show one demographic, that's a problem. Why do you think the Lord is coming back? Why do you think California, where Queen Khalifa, a black woman, she ran California, and her tribes, a lot of them were killed. And in 1781, the military came in, was 1871, excuse me. The military came in there and 3 warships, and the next thing you know, the people were expelled. That's why that land is going through so much hell. And this whole earth is going to go through hell because of us. And because also our brother will not understand that he's being a puppet and being used. Because all of us are the God's children. I don't care who you are. He hasn't chosen, don't get me wrong. But we're all his children. And if you are a brother in the womb, Genesis 25, Esau, Edom, 2 brothers born in the womb, separated. One given Mount Seir. From Mount Seir, he moved to Basra. From Basra, he moved to the land of Khazaria, mixed with Japheth's children. Genesis chapter 10. And when he mixed with Japheth's, this is Edom and this is Rome. This is the same faction right now that's ruling the world, but yet being a plague to the world. And then you have some of your brothers over here who are African-American thinking that all white people are bad when they're not. I got good friends who are white, and I'm telling you, that is not true. There's good people of all races. Just like you have a handful, 90% of the cops, you understand, are dirty and racist, and they infiltrated the system. But then you got a percentage that are good men. They just get a bad reputation because of the others. Folks, this has to stop. At some point, we got to wake up and realize we've been manipulated. Donald Trump is just a puppet. He's to keep you distracted. You know when Rome fell? When all great nations fall, you know the first thing they give them? They give them games. They distract their minds so they don't see what's coming on around them. Babylon's falling. The house of cards is falling. America is the daughter of Babylon, if you don't know. She sits on many waters. And she has many merchants that trade with her. But the Bible says that these same merchants are going to turn on her in the latter days. The book of Obadiah says that Esau or Edom, that the wise men will be taken away. And you wonder why you would send all the jobs overseas, NAFTA and all these other, and then you take the oil and then you have all the manufacturing jobs done in China. And now China is on top because you give them all the jobs, all the resources. And then yet, here, everybody's being poisoned by the air, food, water, candy, medicines. That's why the Bible says there'll be many medicines, but no cures. Because the Lord knew what was going to happen here. We got to wake up and understand that we got to stop fighting each other. We got to stop looking at one demographic because these people are being demonized by the same people who took their identity. Why do you think they're being demonized? All of America's covered up. You'll never dig in America. Why would you dig in America? Smithsonian knows better. If you dig in America, the next thing you know, you're going to find out who the indigenous people are. We weren't all rounded up. 95% of us were here already. We're the oldest people on earth. All this is coming out now. Stop hating each other. Understand that there's a puppeteering going on. Ezekiel 38, 39, 40, 41 is playing out right now, where the wars and rumors of wars, which is in Matthew 24 and 6, he talks about. But Ezekiel talks about how he's going to gather them and plead for his children. That's why the whole earth is going through this. And I'm going to tell you right now, I saw a young boy who was actually decapitated, his brain taken out or his head cut off. And one guy, I think, had him in his yard, just like in the old days, because they feel like it's good luck. Not understanding it's damnation for them and also all their children. People, you're seeing this with carnal eyes. These bodies are just given us for a minute. There's a spirit put in here. And his spirit is for one reason, to be judged, to see if we're worthy for the new world. We got to stop hating each other. We need more love. And we need to understand that there's a judgment for all nations. And America is a nation right now being judged. Do you want to be part of that judgment, or do you want to break those curses? Think about it, America. Think about it.